kingfish. I mean, I just call it candy. You just put a little kingfish wire, just free line it out the back. And you're never going to get a kingfish or a grouper's going to come up and hit that thing, but it's not coming back to the boat alive. So that's my favorite fish, and it's hard to catch them because you got to catch them on hook and line. I mean, they're not going to run in your pinfish trap. Some other baits I like are pigfish, pinfish, swirlfish, black sea bass. They have to be 10 inches. Sometimes you call them black pinfish. But at a certain time of year, in the wintertime, early spring, they're full of eggs, and I think that the grouper knew that. And it's a favorite bait for that time of year is a black sea bass. And one thing about black sea bass that makes it real special to me is they instinctively swim down. They've never been off the bottom. So if you just have a free line bait, and I did this in 72 foot of water about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was about 12-inch black sea bass. It was huge. And for bait, and the guy looked at me like I was crazy. But the black pinfish, you throw it out there and it swims down. You still have 20 grouper looking at it on the bottom, and that stupid fish will swim right down there to them. Now pinfish, they're not that smart, but they start swimming up. Away from that. And a blue runner won't even go down sometimes. It's got to be weighted. So, but a black sea bass in deep water, free line, can be a ticket to a real happy ride.
Where do you put the hook at?
Up in the dorsal fin, top of the dorsal fin. That way you don't do it dorsal fin because it'll become exhausted going against the, with the dorsal fin it swims naturally.
Is that where you hook the blue runners too?
Yeah, I usually double hook down. They're not double back.
Top and back.
Yeah. Another bait that's really underutilized, but a favorite is the staple for grouper is pink mouth grunt, aka Florida snapper, marquee grunt, whatever you want to put your rest call them. And they work fantastic live. You can modify them, you take your shears, you can trim their little tails, they act a little wacky in the water, or just leave them home. And about a week and a half ago, I had a spot out there that I was taking people and they were just getting broken off. And so I caught grudge fishing, and I went out there and had a 6-aught for me, loaded with a 100-pound test, and my buddy, I gave him a 9-aught loaded with 200-pound test. And we stopped, we got our little pink mouth grunt, about this big. Put a 9-aught hook in there, 9174 Mustad, and pitched him out there. And I didn't get my bait out there before. And he goes, ugh! And the line broke. I said, daggone, that's a 200-pound test. And you're thinking, well, that's a Jewfish. Because I got one through out there. I got popped off, and I got 16-pound red. And he was reeling up his bait, and there was 3 grouper trailing there that big. That was shallow water, 13 miles out. So, pink mouth grunt are very good. Some people catch them and they think it's a trash fish, or, especially the little hand size of them, they're good to go. And as a matter of fact, spring, you can free line a pink mouth grunt off the back of it, and they are a favorite for kingfish. You wouldn't think that kingfish would hit that thing, but they hit it. It's a very good bait for king. And a cody.
Right.
How do you catch these things?
Right. A month or 2 or so ago, when they made the rules about trying to get the longliners not to use short grouper for bait,
Yeah.
they made it illegal to use pink mouth grunt, because that's a federal reef fish for bait, which is, I mean, unless somebody's on board with it, just like black sea bass has to be clean. But yeah, it's illegal to use
illegal?
grunts, pink mouth, well, they're white grunts.
You got snag.
Let's
snag them in the doorstep sometimes.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, it's illegal to do what it says do. Yeah, All right, how do you catch bait traps? I got 3 out there, 1 on 4. And I know sometimes you just come down for a day, it's hard to use the bait traps, just hook and line. And that's the second way to do it, especially for your blue runners and your pink mouth grunt. One thing about bait traps, please don't steal them. I'm probably, you go out there and you get to your spot and it's gone. Or the pinfish somehow open up the trap door and they all swam away. And then you gotta sit there for, the hook and line on your bait, it takes, on average, about 45 minutes to an hour of downtime to hook your live well in good condition. And that's, you think you're gonna hustle up, you're gonna throw an extra rod and reel in there, and I usually have 3 or 4 people catching bait. But no matter how hard you try at it, it's gonna be about an hour, not downtime. So that's one thing about it. It's really upsetting when you pull up there and find your bait's been robbed or your trap's been stolen. So.
What kind of float are you using?
Thinking-
What kind of float?
The float. I was signing them. I think it was an autograph or something. That just made it more valuable. Please don't steal this.
Are you using a regular craft company?
Yeah. Regular trap, brown buoy. It's hard to keep them out there in Scotland because they think that I found them here.
Do you have any success in keeping your bait more than one trip? Bring home with it, live well kind of thing?
They'll get that rash on them quick. I mean, usually it's no problem. I mean, I recycle it, every day I go out there, so it's trapped. It's good. I try to keep them overnight pins at the dock. Their tail fins get beat up and they look kind of ragged and they don't form normal. One thing about a live bait, it's got to go in a predator-prey relationship. So when it's scared, it can actually do something to its it wants to run. And that's what makes that predator want to attack you. How do you hook these things? There's several ways. For drift fishing, there's 2 ways to do it. One is through the top of the dorsal fin. And you want to do that because as the boat is drifting away, you're actually dragging your bait and the fish will be swimming with the boat. Or you can hook them to the lips. Again, the fish is naturally swimming with the boat. If you hook it through the anal fin, the fish is being dragged backwards behind the boat. Eventually it becomes exhausted. I mean, it's only a hook that's about that big. It ain't got a Duracell battery. It'll become fatigued, and then it'll give up the Holy Ghost, and then it'll start bending and conforming, and then it starts to become a propeller, and you get line twist on your line. So that's for drifting. On the anchor, if you're anchor fishing, the best way is to do the anal fin. And the reason is, you hunt right in this little butt, and it's an irritant in this little butt, and it acts erratic, and it's trying to escape whatever is irritating. Because his eyes are up here, he can't see what's going on back there. It's like you have a lot of baits on a reef, and matter of fact, if y'all are all baits, and one of you was happened to be sitting in a fire ant mound, I would know who was sitting in the fire ant mound. And I picked them out of the crowd, just like y'all. And that's the way that little bait is acting when it's hunting an animal. So it makes it stand out in the crowd. Dead baits, so that's anything not living. My favorite was a butterfly pink mouth grunt. I use those though. Because the dead fish, you don't eat the hook, right? That's right. Okay. Then my other one was just the head of a pink mouth. They don't use those because they work too good. A legal blackfish, anything you can butterfly, open up and let that sit out, and that's on anchor, because if you do it drifting, unless you hook it to the lips, it's going to cartwheel and cause a lot of line twist. And it don't take too long down there before you've got just a kinked out leader and just got that repair. Other dead baits I don't like, typical